What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, the podcast where we talk about movies and comics and everything in between. My name is DJ. I messed it up. I had this right so many weeks in a row. My name is Darren, also known as DJ. And I am joined by
I will say that you probably only had it right 2 weeks in a row, but okay.
Whatever. You know what? No one asked you.
Yep.
Anyhow, I am joined by my two siblings. My sister, Davina, and my brother, who's only still on the show because we haven't found a replacement yet.
They really don't want to find a replacement, but what's up, everybody?
Oh, we really do.
You know, hiring people is a lot of work, and that's... You're only still on the show because we're lazy.
Post it on Indeed or .com.
Podcast host needed.
Yep.
All right. So, guys, this week is the big week. We're talking about Avengers Endgame. We all saw it in the theaters this weekend. It is a killer movie. So we're going to be talking about that. Of course, there will be spoilers. We will have a spoiler-free section. However, if you don't want to find anything out about this movie, don't even take the chance, then be warned that there will be spoilers. And I would say, even if you're a person that say you don't care about spoilers, be warned there will be spoilers. You don't want to watch this movie knowing what's going to happen. So, no, even if you don't care, leave. Besides that, first we're going to get into the news so you can at least stay for that section. And we'll talk a little bit about Endgame to start off. Its opening weekend, box office was $1.2 billion worldwide. Insane.
Yeah, very insane. I think that a lot of people didn't think that was possible because of the length of the movie and the limitations of how many times theaters can show it and how many theaters it's being shown in. But I think before the movie came out, more and more theaters were showing, pretty much they're showing the movie 24 hours this weekend. So the fact that it made $1.2 billion is very awesome and not surprising considering the lengths that everyone made so that people can go see this movie.
Yeah, and I know a few theaters stayed open all weekend, they didn't close at all. So it's just showings after showing after showing, and people are lining up to go see this movie. So it's amazing. Domestically, it made $350 million, which is still crazy, more than Infinity War made.
Yeah. What was that?
It's killer.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah. I mean, at this rate, I don't know. It depends on how much the die down is from the second week to this one. I think it can get close to beating Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely get close to. You mean worldwide box office altogether?
Yeah.
I would say probably. I think it is. They're projecting $3 billion. If it does, that's again crazy. Yeah. I don't know what the die down is going to be next week.
Yeah, that's the only thing to see how much of a drop off it is.
Yeah, because I don't know if they're going to have as many showtimes.
No, and then you figured if you made $350 million domestically, it's going to be a huge drop off. You're not going to do that again.
Yeah. Well, okay, like Infinity War last year, it had more than a 50% drop off, which is usually oh wow, that's bad. But it had made so much money that that percentage wasn't conducive to, the kind of movie it was. Just a bunch of people saw it first weekend, so
yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how this performs. It's a great movie.
And that's what I don't like about with numbers a lot of times. Is that anticipation for a movie and people think the movie is going to be good and there's a rush to go see the movie and it end up being crap, but it's like the money is already spent on the movie.
Yeah, and I think that's where the drop down for the second one comes in, that if it's not a really good movie, then it's a huge drop off because word of mouth says don't waste your time. This time there's going to be a huge drop off because you can't sustain that type of viewership for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's so massive.
Yeah. So but you can still tell if it next week and it has a 65% drop off, then it's like okay.
Yeah.
But all the reviews and the audience ideas for this movie is positive, so it's probably going to sustain something throughout the next few weeks. A few bits of other news. There's a Rugrats live action movie being made.
So, everyday life.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. How does this work? Because the Rugrats babies look weird. Let's be real, right?
Okay, they're gonna be normal looking babies, right?
So where's the fun in that? I don't know. Like,
I mean, because if the kids look like that in real life, I feel like there's something wrong with them.
I don't know. I don't know about live action, but I say this about every live action thing that comes out.
I thought, wait a minute. If it's a live action, because Roblox is told from the point of view of the toddler, right? Isn't that just like Look Who's Talking?
Look Who's Talking, maybe?
Right?
Or what would Baby Genius is?
Yeah, because Look Who's Talking was told from the point of view of the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already had that in.
Yeah, but in Look Who's Talking, it was only in the baby's head.
Yeah, but the robots is like their imagination. So okay, I guess it's.
Then it's just like Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the premise is there. Yes.
I don't see the need for this, but okay.
Well, they're doing live action everything. I don't know why this is a trend, but
I also don't think robots were popular when we were kids.
Yeah, maybe we need to ask some kids.
Oh, okay.
My son's not old enough. Like, he likes the like, I've played Rugrats for him,
right.
And he likes it, but, I mean...
It's not, yeah.
I think he just likes the opening tune.
Yeah.
Alright, next bit of news. Dark Phoenix, it had some reshoots, which is why it didn't come out last year, and it's coming out this summer. And there is a report, we're going to take it with a grain of salt, but reportedly the reshoots was changing the last battle from a space battle to a train battle.
So is that the scene we saw in the trailer?
Yeah, there's like they were on this train and
she was fighting Magneto, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think she was fighting Magneto and some military guys. And so
that's
get ready for this epic train battle.
Yes.
I mean, I don't.
You know what would be so bad? Like if that scene don't even be good.
I doubt it will be.
It won't be. I mean, like, think about it. Like, I get that it's probably hard to get a space battle working in a movie. But what is better? Like, wouldn't that be so much better than a final battle on a train?
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to trade in space, I don't know, trade it in for something else, not a train.
Yeah. Look, if we're talking James Bond, then maybe a final battle on a train. Okay.
I feel like even James Bond final battle was in space. I could think of two movies for sure.
Yeah.
His final battle was in space.
So, I don't know. Put her on the moon with the Inhumans or something. Like, this is the Phoenix, and you changed it to a
train battle.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen that makes that epic?
And maybe it's a train over a river or something between two mountains in a desert.
Oh, yes. You've made me so much more excited for this. But
I don't know.
So if this is true, which I wouldn't put it past them, then I really think this movie is going to be horrible.
You know what? This movie might surprise us all. We've been dogging it.
They said this is going to be the third act. Your third act is a train fight.
I feel like a lot of movies' third act is train fights. I think that's how From Russia with Love ended.
Okay. Like I said James Bond would be fine.
Although I think it ended on a train, or the train might have been in the middle.
But you're talking about like mutants with these crazy powers and stuff.
And they're on a train.
Yeah.
Iron Man didn't even end on a train.
My thing is, why is it Magneto and Dark Phoenix on the train? Like, out of everybody, really, they're the ones on the train with this train battle?
That they showed. I'm sure the other guys are.
I guarantee you, Professor X is dead. Oh. I guarantee you.
Well, Professor X always die. Let's just.
But if he's dead, then this is X-Men 3.
It is X-Men 3.
Yeah, we said that though.
Well, no.
I don't know, because you have to find a way to Professor X. So, you got to get rid of him
because he's so powerful. So it's like,
although the Phoenix is stronger than him, so they shouldn't have to.
Yeah. True.
So
That's
yeah.
why on all the X-Men cartoons when we were kids, and I mean I'm talking about every single one, at some point in time there's a season where Professor X is gone.
Him and Magneto are in the Savage Land.
With no powers.
Yeah. But he can walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that does not make any sense whatsoever.
Well, his powers
How come
are what stopped him from walking, right? In the comics, his powers are what stops him from walking.
Is it? I thought a building fell on him.
Oh, something. Yeah, it was like a terrorist attack or something.
Yeah. I never
And he
understood
got
why
paralyzed.
he could walk in the Savage Land. I had to Google that to figure that one out.
Convenience.
Because comic books.
Because comic books.
Right. Because any other time he would have got through the Savage Land with no problem, with no issue whatsoever.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about Men in Black. They had another trailer. It was actually ahead of the Endgame movie, and we checked it out. I want to watch the movie. It looks pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, it seems entertaining enough. I don't think it'll be better than the first one, but might be better than the other two.
Yeah, probably better than the other two. I think so.
Yeah.
Plus, we know the chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson is pretty good, so it should hit some cool beats.
Yeah.
They did give away the whole plot.
I was just getting ready to say, I'm like, they showed an awful lot in the trailers. I'm wondering, like, is there anything worth left seeing?
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, like, this kind of movie, I don't really care about spoilers.
Well, not that. I just feel like you gave a lot of your jokes away.
Yeah, I do just like when they do that.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's nothing else funny in the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I hate that. I really do.
And so that's one of my concerns.
yeah. So hopefully there's more jokes. Maybe they did some ad-libbing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
No? You think so?
No, I thought you were going to say maybe they pulled some Marvel stuff and the trailer's not really the trailer.
Let's remember that this is Sony. They did give away the whole Spider-Man plot in Spider-Man Homecoming, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And to be honest, if we don't have that plot twist with that girl's father being the Vulture,
Yeah.
yeah, like that made the movie at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was still fun to watch, but you knew it was going to
Yeah,
happen.
it was fun to watch. Yeah, it was fun to watch. But yeah, it would have just been just a regular, typical movie, though.
Well, I mean, just like with Far From Home, I'm not going to say it just in case I'm right, but I have a pretty good idea of what's going on with Far From Home, too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, Sony's not very good at...
I never really paid attention to the trailers all like that.
Really?
there's
I feel
only
like
one.
They tell you an awful lot.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot in this
You
trailer.
know, Mysterio's the hero in
Right.
it, and I'm going to put quotations around there.
Yeah, I figure he starts off that way, don't end that way.
I feel like he's causing all the problems.
It seems like a Mysterio kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like what he'll do. So, yeah, it's Sony. They just gave away stuff.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it still seems fun to watch, so definitely checking out Men in Black. And seems like it's going to be pretty good. Some other information about Disney Plus, the WandaVision TV show. I'm still not cool with that name. They're saying it's going to be a period piece, and I'm like, how? Exactly?
Oh, so like they're gonna be in like the 18 somethings or further with like Victoria, England or something?
Like 50s.
Oh, okay. Still, how?
Yeah, I don't know, because...
They had to go back in time? Or they just
So
make
did she make an alternate reality? Since
I'm
she
like,
does,
is
that
she
is
going
part
to
of her
get
powers?
reality powers?
Does she have reality powers?
She has it. Well, in her
Yes,
comics she
she
does.
does.
So this
She
is all
does.
in her head?
Maybe? I don't
could
know.
be. Hey, that would be very interesting for that to be the plot of the show.
Are they doing that so it doesn't screw up any MCU timelines?
See you.
No, because Kevin Feige said that these are hardwired stories, and any effects on the characters in the Disney Plus shows will show up in the movies.
So how? I don't understand.
I don't either. Maybe it's not true,
Okay.
but that's what they're saying. And I'm like, that don't make sense for it to be a period piece.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe they use the time travel thing and they go back into
Stop
the
the
50s.
time travel. It already doesn't make sense.
Like, I don't know.
I think it could just be her altering reality, because a lot of stuff that goes on like in the comic books, um when it comes to like just weird things happening, basically the bottom line is she did something and it threw everything off.
But why would she need to go back there? The Vision wasn't around then.
No.
Well, maybe she feel that that's a peaceful time.
But it
They
wasn't.
can live peacefully.
It wasn't. Definitely wasn't.
No.
For real, it wasn't.
But I don't know. But I don't know what people's obsession is with the 40s, 50s, and 60s. To be honest, I really don't.
Yeah, it's past. It's fine. I like period pieces. I think it is interesting, but you know, we'll see how they're going to do it. I'm pretty sure they have an idea, so
It'll be interesting to see.
we'll figure it out. In other news, the Russo brothers are also doing another movie, and this time not with Tom Holland, but with Chadwick Boseman. And apparently, this one's already been shot.
Yes, 21 Bridges. Saw the trailer before Endgame. Seems very interesting. Seems like the kind of movie. I don't know if I want to go see it in a theater though.
Yeah, I might not. I don't know.
I mean, that gotta be a $5 Monday movie.
Yeah. It might be something to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm opening weekend. I'm not too worried about going to see it.
Yeah.
But it does look pretty good. Chadwick Boseman's a cop.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems good. Yeah. It's just that's not usually the type of movies I go to the theater to see.
Yeah.
I do like it though. And this is like one of the very few movies that he's doing where it's not like a based on real events.
Right, he's not playing a real person.
You know, because he's always playing like a real life person. You know, like James Brown and Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. I like him as an actor, and it looks like the trailer definitely made it seem pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty gritty cop movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Russos, like, they can do a bunch of different genres, can't they? Like,
yeah. And, like,
geez.
did they start off with Arrested Development? Like, what did they do before that?
Community.
Community was before Arrested Development? No, Community was after Arrested
Development was first then,
right.
Yeah.
So, what did they do before that?
I don't know.
I mean, that's when I first heard of them.
I think they started with Arrested Development.
So, I mean, like, Arrested Development and Community, although, like, the paintball episodes of Community, I guess, is pretty intense, but...
Yeah.
It seems like something completely different than the type of movies that they put out.
Then you get a spy thriller and whatever Civil War is, and then these epics, like, because not everybody can do an epic movie.
Yeah. No, they are good at their job.
Yeah, these are to me they're the directors to get.
So, can we talk about how dumb I am that I finally realized that Joe Russo be doing cameos in these movies?
Oh, yeah.
Because so of course, right, I was like on the Marvel fiend, so I watched The Winter Soldier, and I was like, oh, hey, he's in this.
Yeah, he was the doctor. Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, he's always like, has a small cameo. And he has a cameo in Endgame.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, the Detective Pikachu movie. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. Snuck up on me because I could have sworn they said it was out in like June or something. But the reviews for it are in. And mostly positive reactions. People are saying it's a really good movie to go see. So
Not surprising at all. I like how they let them watch the movie 2 weeks before it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess there's no kind of big
super secret
thing going on. And they probably want to get people to go see it.
yeah, that's true. Okay, I mean that's not surprising. It seemed like it'd be a good movie.
Yeah, from the trailer it looked decent. I only saw the first one. I didn't watch any of the other ones.
Are there other ones?
Yeah, I think there were 2 other ones.
Oh, it doesn't come up on.
I seen another one.
Yeah,
I seen another one,
okay.
But I have only seen 2.
Okay.
I haven't, but that's not something I'm really interested in, so nothing notifies me that there's a new trailer for it.
Agreed.
Yeah. I get some of it on my YouTube feed. Yeah. But yeah, so I'll probably check out the movie and do like a small segment talking about what I thought on it, and it could be pretty good. So we got that, and then lastly, I want to redact or take back whatever some of my statements that I made in previous podcasts.
Okay.
Because we were talking about Brie Larson before.
Uh-huh.
And I was stating, without actually listening to her comments, that, you know, I don't know. She couldn't have said anything that bad, and that she was probably okay. However, I have heard those comments that she said. And I'm sorry, I also watched some, you know how they do the press tours? Mm-hmm. And I watched some of the interviews she did. Like, she's horrible. She's, like, super arrogant. And, like, you can just feel the tension when she's interviewing with the other cast members. Like, generally, the Avengers cast members get along pretty well. And, like, you can just tell that that camaraderie is not there with her. And it's probably because of her arrogance.
Yes. Now, I do believe was I the only one who said I didn't like her?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
I don't like her. And it's not even so much like the things she says. It's just her, I don't know, her resting bee face or...
Well, it's her attitude. It's her attitude. She has a bad attitude. Like, it's...
Yeah, and then, like, I see her in these movies and it doesn't make me like her more.
Yeah.
I feel like the more I see her in these movies, the less I like her. So I'm going to hold to my comment, recast her. She's easy to be recast. Just replace her. I mean, hey, Hulk got
Marvel
replaced.
doesn't
Rhodey got replaced. They can replace her
when necessary. You know they don't like recasting.
No one likes her.
True.
How is that not necessary?
Nobody does like her. Apparently, there's cast members that don't like her either.
She's coming in with a new group of people, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A whole new group of people.
Yeah, so that might be cool then.
I don't know. They all seem pretty cool. Yeah, but it's kind of, and she keeps mentioning how she's making her movie Captain Marvel that came out in February is setting the norm for female leads, and it's like, man, it's been decades since you had movies with strong female leads. Alien,
Alien
female lead. Terminator, strong female lead.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can't say you're making this norm, and then if you're talking about superheroes...
Wonder Woman was first.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was first. You're not making it norm.
Right.
So stop saying it like you are the one that's doing this. Gal Gadot was the first superhero in the modern era.
I kind of feel like you want to say, okay, maybe she was the first Marvel female lead, but at the same time, I like Scarlett Johansson and Denai Guerrera.
Yeah.
So much better than I like her. Maybe they're not the stars of their movies.
Heck, I like, what's the Wasp girl's name?
In real life? Man.
People are going to be mad. She was on Lost.
Janet something?
She be in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What is her
Is her
name?
name Janet something?
No, that's the...
No?
That's her name in the movie.
In the movie?
No, her name is Hope in the movie.
Oh.
But,
oh, wow. We all off.
Janet's her mother. No, it's Evangeline Lilly.
There you go.
And
all right. I would not have
I like her. Like, she's good.
Yeah, like, they are all awesome. And I would take them over Captain Marvel any day.
Heck, what's her face? With the child named Apple.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, seriously. No, like, because you can tell. And I even watched this thing where they had, like, you know how people can read body language, and they broke down an interview with her, and they like tore it apart, like, because she's just so arrogant. Like, it's no. So yeah, I just strongly dislike Brie Larson.
I'm sorry, but her outfits are the worst.
What, like on the
like
carpet?
I don't remember what she wore on the carpet, but like during the press tour, she had like on the ugliest outfits.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to the outfits. But
hideous. She had on like this brown pantsuit, but it was weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like none of her clothes.
Yeah. So while, you know, it's all cool for the female-led movies, hey, like, give us a Wasp movie or whatever. We're going to talk about some possibilities coming out of Endgame, because there is supposedly a good possibility of a team movie. But we'll touch on that in spoilers for Endgame. However...
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a 4-movie Divergent. Shall we go on with the strong female leads in the modern era? I just... And she's talking like she made this the norm. Like, Brie Larson, go somewhere. You need to just go.
Right, and like, real talk, we only saw the movie because it was Marvel.
Yeah. Honestly, not because of all the stuff she was doing.
Yeah.
So...
Sure.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman was a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. With that being said, I think that's all the news. So let's go ahead and jump into first our spoiler our spoiler-free section of our review of Avengers Endgame. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can stick around for this part. If you don't want to take the chance, feel free to cut out and come back once you've seen the movie. Mm-hmm. I think I can put timestamps in this, so I'm going to try to do that for this episode.
Okay.
So people know where we're talking about the movie. But anyhow, Derek, what did you think about the movie?
Wow, just
that
throw out adjectives. Great. Epic. Awesome. Incredible.
He's got a thesaurus in front of him.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Is that your review? Epic, awesome, incredible.
They would not put that on a commercial.
I was like, they would put that on a commercial. With Endgame, it'd be like, Avengers Endgame.
Epic, awesome, incredible.
Right, incredible. In theaters now.
Okay. So is that the end of your review?
What was your name?
But seriously though,
Vita.
It was a good movie. Like, I really feel it lived up to the hype. And it's like as it got closer to the movie about to come out, you had that thinking like, man, I hope this movie doesn't turn out to just be like just okay, because you building up with the excitement for the movie, and then it's like, okay, I hated the way it ended. It was like, oh, this part was dumb or this part was dumb, but it was like it was good all the way through. And for it to be a 3-hour movie, it didn't feel like a 3-hour movie. Definitely. And I guess that's what people were saying, like, with Titanic, with the movie being so long, but people who were into that, it was just like, oh, it didn't seem like it was that long. And for me, I'm like, dude, watching this, Titanic, it seemed like it's a really long movie. But
but Endgame does move at a good clip. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the movie, I could have sat for more movie. Like, it was good all the way through.
Yeah.
So Davina, what did you think?
For me, I don't know, I guess like an epic,
spectacular, awesome, amazing.
Yes, all of those words. I did feel like it started off a little slow to me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was, to me, the only negative I have about this movie. Even with that said, I think it's a great movie. It definitely lived up to hype. And I mean, I did get a little like, what if it's not as good as I hope it is? Mm-hmm. But it definitely, I mean, it paid off in every way possible. Outside of just, I said, that little caveat, I thought it started off slow, but I thought everything else about it was great.
Yeah, I can actually agree with you on that. I did think it started off slow, which I think was for a reason. Mm-hmm. They did have a reason, and I don't see any other way to go about it. Yeah. Because, you have to feel the aftermath of Infinity War, and that had to be present in this movie. So that it made sense. And as the movie goes on, it continues to get better and better. And then the third act just kills it. Yeah. Like, the best third act I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the third act is great. And I feel like sometimes third acts is where they falter, because the third act is usually when they have, like, this big battle. Yeah. And I feel like, obviously, there's a big battle, but it paid off in every way. I don't think there was any, like, well, that was horrible, or, that shouldn't have did that. And I thought it was good. However, I still think The Winter Soldier is my favorite movie.
Winter Soldier is still my favorite movie. Yeah.
I mean, it's in my top 5, but...
Oh, Infinity War and Endgame definitely follows.
Yeah, well, I might put the Black Panther above it.
Black Panther and Civil War, dog.
Above Endgame, not Civil War.
No, Black Panther above Endgame.
I might. I feel like Black Panther
Yes.
Black Panther got such a good story.
The story is
Yes.
good, sure, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm putting both of these movies above Black Panther.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you guys on putting it above Civil War, but I'm with Davina. Black Panther has to be up before those two, though.
Yeah, which I mean, it doesn't say. I mean, Endgame still is all those adjectives we
Yeah.
threw out there.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's such a different movie than Black Panther. So it's
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, I felt the same way about Black Panther when I got done watching it, though.
oh yeah, it was a great movie.
I had the same feeling when I left out of the theater of Black Panther. Like, I can turn around and watch this again.
yeah. I mean, with Endgame, like it's a 3-hour movie, and I was thinking, like, I got home saying to myself, like, I want to see this movie again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm watching
And
it
I
again
feel the
tomorrow.
same way with Winter Soldier. The same way with Civil War. Like, yes, it's like, man, I can watch
Oh,
this again, and that's
let's
why
be
every
real.
time it's on. What?
Oh, Winter Soldier, I saw like 6 times in the theater. Like, I saw that movie so many times.
Yeah, but yeah, no, with Endgame, I think all of them, the main people, everyone said like, like, okay, these characters are kind of like moving on. I thought everyone had a good ending to their story. Mm-hmm. I thought like it was satisfying for everyone, and I think that's the word that one of the Russo brothers used, that it was cathartic.
Yeah. It was an interview with the Russo brothers, and they said, if you can describe this movie in one word, what would it be? And they said cathartic, which it very much was.
Yeah.
It definitely just was a satisfying ending, to the point, even though I want to see more and more MCU movies, but if this was the end of the MCU, I would actually be satisfied.
I mean, yeah, and for me, I feel like I don't know if I can get into phase 4 as I was about these first, because I mean, these are people that I've watched for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And these new people coming on, I just feel like,
Maybe
I don't know,
the
like,
new younger children will, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, sure.
It's a start over. It's starting from the beginning again. So you got to look at it like that. So this next phase, we can't compare to these last 10. Well, you can compare them, but like, it's not continuing this saga. It's a new story.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this new story.
It hasn't even started
It
yet.
doesn't matter. I already feel like I'm not going to like it as much.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to be the only downfall about the new phase, is that we're attached to these old characters. And it's like, for them to be done, in introducing new characters, it's just like, we are going to have that emptiness.
Right, and
you
put such
just
a
like,
complete cap on it.
Yeah. It's like, the same anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be surprising though. They could
But
surprise
that's
us.
the thing. They can build up for you to start caring about these other characters, and they do have some overlap. You guys mentioned how much you love the Black Panther movie.
And
that character is in this.
Right, but it's like, okay,
Yes.
do I see T'Challa's not the leader of the Avengers? It's going to be Captain Marvel, and I already told you I don't like Captain Marvel.
But I feel like we still got some other characters that we really care about, and the thing about it is, only in the large team-up movies, and I don't know if they're going to do Avengers movies like they have.
I think it'll be quite a while
Right.
before we see another one.
So we're going to be
Yeah,
following...
I see 3 to 5 years before another one.
I think it might even be longer than that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give you a little breather
And
so you
it's
can
probably
forget.
not good. I think this is the end of Avengers. Like, oh, this is Avengers, blah, blah, blah. They might get some other movies, but I think the Avengers whole saga is probably just in this first.
I don't know if they would do that, because, I mean, Avengers got like 1,000 members.
True.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a while, just so there's not a comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't say Endgame was better, or the first Avengers did this and they didn't do that. So I think
Yeah.
it'll be a while, so you don't get that.
Plus, you have to build up your care for these characters, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So we have Tom Holland, Spider-Man, which everybody loves. You got Black Panther. Everybody loves Doctor Strange.
Do we? I like Benjamin
Benedict.
Benedict
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, him. I like him. I don't know if I like Doctor Strange.
Well, people loved this movie. Like, you can't
Yeah.
really comment because you didn't see the movie.
That's true.
So, like, people loved this movie. So, you, like, those three characters alone, Captain Marvel's new. So, and if she's just one character we don't care about, then, you know, fine, whatever. I don't have to watch her movies.
Yeah.
But you still got a plethora of other characters that you're starting to care for in these movies anyway. I mean, Spider-Man's death in Infinity War killed everybody, right? Like,
But I mean, you got to think like they have things in the work for like the next setup. You know, they just not expounding on it. You know,
That's true.
and so a lot of the things that we're bringing up, you know, is just theory.
Yeah, I'm sure they're working on a lot of things to make it better.
Yeah, yeah. I think what it is that from a fan standpoint, you know, we want it to be just as good, but it's just like sometimes when something is just so good, you can't top that.
all right, so I think that's pretty much all we can say without spoiling it. It's a great movie. You guys should definitely go see it. It's excellent. This is what I wanted to say. It definitely, what's the word for it? Not satisfies, but it completes the entire story. Like all those other movies, like the entire 10 years of the MCU, it definitely puts a cap on all of it. You get satisfaction from everything in those movies.
Yeah.
And they did an excellent job of doing that. So, but like I said in my comment, if this was the end of the MCU, this would be a great ending.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. So from here on out, we're going to be talking spoilers for Avengers Endgame. So you've been warned. Again, if you haven't seen this movie, even if you don't care about spoilers, leave. You're not welcome here. And then come back after you've watched the movie, because then you're welcome here again. Don't spoil the movie for yourself. I'm going to say that right off the bat. You don't want to spoil it. It's some good parts in that you want to be surprised by. Otherwise,
And I want to say shout out to everybody that I do follow for not spoiling it, that's seen it on Thursday and Friday. I thank you guys.
Yeah, I
guys the
definitely
best.
didn't watch or pay attention to anything. Didn't read any comic sections.
Yeah, no, I watched things, but I was like, no comments, because people will be like, even if the video's not even about that,
Yeah.
they'll be like, guess what happened? And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, no, so yeah. And then on Friday morning, I avoided the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so spoilers. I'm going to start with Act 1. I think we were going to talk about, because there are kind of 3 different sections to this movie. I kind of want to talk about each one because they each have a different feel.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. They're kind of their own movies on their own. So let's talk about Act 1. So it's the aftermath of Infinity War. And I don't know, like, I think this was done really well. I called it that scene with Hawkeye and his family was going to be the opening scene.
Oh yeah, I was like, I knew right away, because I'm like, they were like, who's that girl? And I'm like, that's his daughter, and she's about to get dusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we all know it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, whether you saw that in the trailers or not, when it opens, you know what's happening there. And it's like, oh, man,
Yeah.
it sucks, dude. So but I think it does put you in that perspective of, someone did mention, like, you get to see what the snap was like for everyone else on the world. Mm-hmm. Because last movie with the Avengers, you know, they were all fighting Thanos and they knows what happens. But Joe Blow on the street talking to his friend,
They don't know what happens.
they don't know what happened. His friend just went away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they have them listed as the Vanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the people vanished. So you got that, and then you got the Avengers recovering from it. Now, it starts easy. Oh, again, they didn't lie about the trailers.
Oh yeah, no, it was like the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like literally, they showed us the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think added to, you know, how you said that the beginning was kind of slow.
Because we already saw it.
We already saw the beginning of this movie. But that does pay off because we don't know what happens for the last 2/3 of the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one of us call it that Captain Marvel was going to be the ones to save them
said
and bring
it.
them back there.
Yeah.
I said it, and also, am I jumping to say that they was going to fight Thanos immediately?
Yeah.
Some people theorize that.
I was like, I said it, like, off rip. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like,
When you said it, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going to continue the movie is they defeat him
and it didn't change anything.
and nothing changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, I
that's
don't
exactly
know.
what happened.
Called that he was going to destroy the stones with the stones.
Oh yeah, no, didn't see that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. A couple people thought that they were going to go fight him, and they lost, and then that's why they went back in time because they couldn't beat him.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought
that
that,
was my
and
take
then
on
my
it.
other thought was that they beat him, but then they realized it didn't change anything, so you're
Yeah.
still stuck.
So and yeah, and this that happens. It's kind of like I said. They subvert expectation in the right way. Like you definitely didn't expect Thanos to be as weak as he was because he used the stones twice, and that he got rid of the stones. So there was no chance for current Avengers to do anything.
Yeah.
Like no
Right.
matter what, like Thor kills him, but it doesn't matter.
Right, because it didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sets off for them being like that ultimate depression because, okay, Thor's like, I finally did what I was supposed to do, a month ago.
Yeah,
But it didn't matter because
Yeah.
you still lost.
yeah,
Didn't see that coming, or at least didn't see how he did it coming.
yeah. Going back a little bit, it did make sense that Captain Marvel saved them because if you think about it,
Yeah.
Rocket probably has a way to track his ship, and there was no way to get them until Captain Marvel responded to Nick Fury's what's his name.
But they didn't put that in the movie.
They didn't. I realized
not.
that, and I was like, so basically, if you didn't watch the end credit scenes to Infinity War or Captain Marvel, then Captain
You
Marvel
don't know
just pops
how
up.
she goes out to the
Right,
to
but
why
although
she
she could
goes
have very well just
why she
popped up.
randomly finds the ship.
She
Yeah.
could have very well. You figure
yeah.
she's in space, right? Half the people
Yeah.
she's with are disappearing.
Yeah,
She could have very well been like, something's going on. Figure out it's happening on Earth,
and just randomly flies
and
by
just
the ship.
finds them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so her, stumbling upon them is not,
right,
unheard of.
right. But I don't think.
But
that's
I
the
mean, I do
storyline,
like
though.
the fit though of with the pager. She comes there and then realize that
And they send her to go get them.
Yeah, well, she
Very-
obviously comes there first because the end of her movie they show the scene, and she comes to Earth first, responding to the page.
yeah.
Right.
Um.
So yeah, it could be that she went there. They said, "Hey, go get these people,"
Yeah.
which I think is what I said.
Well, using Rocket,
you might have
Darren
said
brought up using Rockin's beacon
Yeah.
to the ship.
Yeah. Because otherwise, it's space. How do you find them?
Yeah.
But
Right.
it is his ship, so
Yeah,
it
that
makes sense.
and I'm sure Iron Man got some sort of GPS on his suit.
True, and he was sending those messages out too, so you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
Because
Because did they say that they were getting those messages?
no,
Okay.
No, they didn't mention anything.
yeah, I guess it wasn't really important, but it still makes sense in any of those ways. It still makes sense of how she got her, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like a convenience
Yeah.
factor of it. So we got that, and then of course, oh my goodness, Tony coming back.
Right? Man, is he still mad at Cap?
Yeah, well, you can kind of understand because he comes back and no one can dispute because his argument in all the movies from Age of Ultron until now is that they needed something to protect them from this
Yeah.
this thing that was kind of keeping them up at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, I was right about that. And no one could argue with him. Nobody
Yeah.
did argue with him.
Right. He was right. He said, he's like, I wanted to protect the world with these, bots around the world. He like, you said, we could fight them together. He's like, and we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they weren't together.
And yeah, and he said we weren't together.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Although, he could have called him.
He could have. But I kind
He
of
hesitated.
I kind of give it. He just
He
came
did.
back and he was feeling the loss. So,
Yeah, because what they didn't show in the trailer, the dude was kind of malnourished.
yeah.
He might have been a little space crazy. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't go back with them to face Thanos.
Well, he
Right.
couldn't. I
He
mean, were
couldn't,
you gonna
yeah.
take him?
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah. Plus,
Well,
you
yeah, because they went straight there. Because
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was like, "Hey, let's end this. Let's do this now."
Yeah.
let's just go get him, and they went and got him.
They did.
Yep.
Yeah.
They went and got him. That was quick. I was like,
Dude, one, I wasn't expecting for his head to come off, and
Right.
then and then Thor, it was like everybody looking like, and they're like,
What?
"Why did you do it?
he's
We
like, I
couldn't
ain't for the
find another way."
head.
He's like, "I did what he said. I aim for the head."
Dude, like they just all those little theories. Oh, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Like they were saying with Thor, why didn't he cut the arm off? They went in and cut
That's
the
the
arm
first
off
thing they did.
because obviously in Infinity War, Thor was blinded by his vengeance, so he just wanted to make Thanos suffer.
Yeah.
Right. But that end was, oh no, because Gamora told him that he could do it with a snap.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thor wasn't, he did not go in there with a good strategy. And I think that's part of the problem with the Avengers not fighting together.
yeah,
And they were just all fighting their own individual battles.
yeah. Because even when Thor came to Wakanda, he was just kind of fighting,
Yeah.
not following any strategy. So yeah, so you could tell that got to Thor. So he went in. Their plan was to cut the gauntlet off, which is that's a good plan. I mean, they didn't have a way to do that in Wakanda,
Right.
so Plus, I don't know if the Avengers knew about
I don't think they didn't know about the
the
snap.
ones in
Yeah, in
Wakanda.
Wakanda, no. But hindsight is always 20/20.
Well, no, Hawk was there. He
Oh,
told
yeah.
them about it,
Yeah.
so they did know.
Yeah, but after it's done, they're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the important part."
Yeah, so they did that, and Thor comes in and chops his head off. It's just like, man, okay.
Yeah,
Wow. So it's just, I don't know. Like, at that point, I was like, so what's the rest of this movie? Like, I thought it would be like halfway into the movie, and then they
Right.
fell and they got to figure something else out or something. This was like, first 20 minutes, Thanos is dead.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's still sad because everybody is still gone.
yeah.
Yeah, because they can't do anything. And then the big title card,
5 years later,
5 years later.
and this is where I kind of have a problem. Not with the movie itself, but no one decided to rebuild.
I feel you on that, but I think it takes some time to rebuild. But
Not okay. Yes, it takes time to rebuild, but they didn't even try.
hey, I don't know.
I mean, there were sunken ships off the harbor of New York. City Field is abandoned, and it's just like,
But how many people and how much time would it take to do
Darren,
that?
you would have seen some It's been 5 years. There should have been some scaffolds, something.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
we did the math. We was like, okay, if there's 8 billion people in the world and you snapped half of them, that's 4 billion people.
Right. There's 160 million
Well, 4
people
billion
living in
plus,
America.
'cause you lose people.
Okay, fine. So let's say that
Well,
left you
yeah.
with 100 million people. That's on a very low side, and America alone. You telling me ain't none of them garbage men? Someone couldn't pick up the trash? They built a monument.
Yeah, you had that when Scott Lang came back. So after the 5 years, this is the next thing. A rat randomly turns on the quantum machine, and Scott comes back. Which I would gripe about that randomness if it wasn't 5 years. Because, I mean, how many times did a rat run across that? And there is a chance that
I don't know.
it flipped the switch.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
That's fine. He had to get out somehow.
So, but yeah, when he came back, the streets were covered with garbage.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, the governments didn't rebuild. They didn't do anything.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know how long it
Well,
would take.
remember, she did make mention and say about the governments, there were still a lot of governments that was still tattered because of so many people being missing.
We're
It
talking
would
about
be.
the U.S. government. Your very first job.
The U.S. would be a military state. Let's be real.
Well, does
Yeah.
that not include garbage pickup?
Probably not.
I would just
I don't
say,
think they really care.
I just feel like everyone spends so much time walling on themselves, which I get. Like, okay, that's devastating, but no one looked like they were moving on or even
Yeah.
trying to.
No, I don't think they were. Everyone was just stuck in the fact that like
Yeah,
half of the people died. Which I don't know how that would go, but they did do a good of showing you like the effect, and I think that 5-year time jump really made that stick in because now you really know how depressed the Avengers are. 5 years, So they did this, and 5 years went by, and there was no hope of them doing anything to bring back the people that they lost.
Yeah, right. Couldn't do that. I mean, Scarlet or the Black Widow was like trying to hold something together, but it's not really working well. It's not really doing anything. It's just something for her to do, basically.
Yeah. And I did like that she was heading up the Avengers, the leader there.
Well, is she like the only member of S.H.I.E.L.D. left?
Probably.
Apparently. I guess everybody else that was part of S.H.I.E.L.D. was gone.
Yeah, and
see, now you understand on why the world was left the way it was.
Whatever. Someone.
It may only been one person that was a garbage man left.
Okay, all of Congress.
One garbage man, really?
Yeah, right. All of Congress, not a
Black
single
Widow
member.
was the only one from S.H.I.E.L.D. left.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, but then the Avengers are also taking care of stuff throughout the galaxy, too, because, like, she was talking to Captain Marvel, and she was, reporting how things were going on. So it was interesting that she was kind of heading up everything. And, of course, Rocket and Rhodey and Nebula was there, too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Was she?
Yeah. She was on the ship with Tony, so Nebula was part of the team too.
I don't remember her talking to Nebula. When they were talking to the holograms?
Was it? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
It was. What is her name in the movie? Deny whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was her, Captain Marvel, Rocket, and Rhodey. That's who she was talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had them. Man, and you just at that, and I think that was an excellent scene. With her talking to the Avengers and then Captain America coming in, and it really just solidified. Like they're defeated.
Yeah.
Nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until.
Oh, side note, Hawkeye went crazy and now he's killing all the criminals because they survived the snap.
Yeah. So now he's an assassin killing people for no reason, really. Yep. Let's just get that.
Because he's like, it's not fair. Basically, I think his reasoning is, it's not fair. Thanos killed half the people, and these evil people survived, so I'm going to take it upon myself to kill the evil people.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
That was his exact reasoning. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what Hawkeye's doing.
Yes.
Cool. Move on. So, Scott. So since he comes out with the great idea. Well, he finds his daughter, which that was kind of a sad scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel like, wouldn't you have done that first?
Well, I
guess
he
you don't.
wanted to see if she was alive instead of going there and no one's there.
Well, you got to think he didn't know what was going on.
Okay, but I see all these missing posters. I see all this stuff. To me, before he stumbled upon that monument, I would have went home.
Oh,
maybe he was going to go home and he stumbled across the monument
and decided to make sure his daughter's name wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if he sees that his daughter's name, there's no point of home.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so he meets up with Cassie. That is a pretty sad scene. That's a pretty sad scene. Mm-hmm. Because his daughter's 5 years older.
Yeah. So she goes from being a kid to
so much
grown.
time. And when you really think about it, he missed the time in her life when he was in prison for 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
It was 2 or 3 years. And then now another 5 years gone.
Yeah, he missed a lot.
And thinking about his character, that hurts.
So basically, her whole childhood.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he missed it. I mean, not his fault. The 5 years and whatever. But that kind of sucks. And that's another thing. There's a 5-year time jump in the Marvel movies. So.
Yes. So everything takes place in 2023. Yeah. Hopefully, don't forget that.
So my guess is that the movies we get, they're either going to be in the past or
they're not going to tell you what time it is.
No, it's going to be in 2023. So all these movies are going to take place during the same time until we get to 2023. Yeah. So
they are so crazy for that.
Can we talk about? I know I'm jumping around. No one's rebuilding anything, but Audi can come out with that car.
I was just thinking
for real.
The Audi e-tron is in this. And I was like, where did they get the R&D to manufacture this car?
Maybe. Is Audi
Maybe
German?
Tony
German?
made the car
It is German, yeah.
in the movie.
The Germans rebuilt, but America didn't. Is that what it is?
But they shipped it to
No,
how you ship
no,
it.
no.
Shipping should be down.
Maybe Tony made the.
He made it. But
No,
he put
no,
Audi's logo
He
on
made
it.
it.
When they showed up to Tony's cabin, they were driving an Audi, obviously sponsored by Audi.
Well, all of Marvel movies are sponsored by Audi. Let's be real.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, that car.
Because isn't that what they were driving in Black Panther?
No,
Yeah.
they were driving Lexuses.
No, yeah, Lexus and Iron Man is usually Audi.
Iron Man's usually Audi. The
Avengers is Audi too.
No, it used to be Acura for a while.
It's got to be Audi because the Avengers, their facility is a Porsche plant.
It wasn't Acura in Thor?
Maybe that's Thor, yeah.
Tell me what I know cars.
There's definitely Acura in one of these.
I'm pretty sure in the Winter Soldiers I just saw it was GM.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier was definitely because he was in a Tahoe.
Yes, he was in a Tahoe, and Black Widow showed up in a Corvette.
Yeah,
Sweet.
definitely GM. But it was a Stingray. They should have got a Z06.
A Corvette? It's a whatever.
Z06.
Yes, they should have got a Z06. It was still a sweet car.
Okay.
Goodness.
So yeah, thanks for that side note. Anyhow, this 5-year time jump, I do like that, and I know we're jumping kind of to the end of the movie, but I do like that they didn't just undo what happened in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in Infinity War still happened, and what they're doing to solve it is 5 years later. So everyone has to feel this 5-year time period.
The reason for that is that Tony, he said, he's like, you cannot undo this last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because then he loses Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose Morgan.
Right, because they could have another kid, but it wouldn't be Morgan.
It wouldn't be Morgan.
So yeah, so he made it clear, like, whatever we do, you cannot undo the 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that was like his only thing to help them.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, I'm willing to do this, but we have to do this.
Yeah.
Like that was
and
his
I
bargaining.
I still like that because even though the Tony Morgan is the caveat for it, but I still like that they didn't undo it because then otherwise Infinity War has no meaning.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
True.
And that to me that even made this movie greater than it is because
then it also basically makes all the other movies have no. So it was like it kept everything in the timeline.
Well, because it doesn't undo, like, okay, you lost. And I feel like if you undo that timeline, the effect of them losing means nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Does not get them to this point.
Yeah.
And it's like they had to lose to get to this point.
And you want to feel that loss.
Yeah.
So that's good. And so now it still stands with me. If Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not address, you have to. It's a 5-year time period with half of the people missing.
What's gonna happen is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts 5 years later. It is 2023 in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they're gonna say, hey, remember that time when we all disappeared and we're all back? That is exactly what's about to happen.
My TV out of window.
What's the name of that big dude? Mac?
Mac?
Yeah, he probably disappeared and came back. End of that story.
So stupid.
That's exactly.
But isn't it supposed to take place at the same time though?
It is.
Like basically everything is leading up to 2020.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to start after that.
We'll see. It's coming out soon. We'll see.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
They're going to mention, hey, remember when we all died?
Don't even. Anyhow, so Ant-Man, because he went through this 5-year period and it wasn't 5 years for him, he said it was only 5 hours. That gave him the idea, since time works differently in the quantum realm, maybe they can use it to
travel through the quantum realm
to get the stones back.
He had the idea. They needed Tony, but Tony said no.
Yeah, but eventually, because problem solving eats at Tony, Tony changes his mind.
He can't walk away. He's a hero. At the end of the day, he wasn't about to let them not do it.
Yeah.
Plus, and then I did like how one of the motivating factors was him looking at a picture of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember that he lost that, and that was another child for him.
Yeah.
So that is like, how can you just
because he was like a tutor to Peter.
A mentor.
And how can I just leave him dead when I have a chance to bring him back? So that was
and that's what they said to him too, right?
I don't think
It
they
was
mentioned...
like, we understand what you have.
Oh yeah, but yeah, something like that.
It's like, but it's not fair to everyone else who have lost.
Yeah.
If you have the chance to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which until then they didn't have a chance because nobody knows anything about the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Speaking of quantum realm, so I am convinced that Disney planted that spoiler leak that Tom Holland gave in his interview with Benedict Cumberbatch, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Tom Holland spoiled this big part of the movie, right?" Disney planned that. They had to because they said. Tom Holland said, "Oh, all your lines is quantum realm, quantum this, blah blah blah." Doctor Strange had no lines about the quantum realm in this movie.
No,
or in the last movie.
No, he did not.
So Disney planted that.
Or maybe he thought he did. It's not like he had a whole script.
Oh, he could have had a fake script too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So, besides that, so Ant-Man kicks off the second part of the movie, which to me, it's a mixed feelings for a lot of people. A lot of people think the second act of the movie is too much callbacks, but I love this part of the movie.
Heist. You first of all, you can't go back in the past without calling back the things that happened in the past.
Yeah, and to me, like people complaining about it retreading, I'm like, it didn't really retread.
No, it showed you parts that you didn't see before.
Yeah, it showed you parts in these timelines that you didn't see before, making it new, and it progressed the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the funny part with Professor Hawk. Oh, and by the way, we didn't mention that.
Oh, we didn't mention
Professor Hawk is one.
I was going to mention that after we talk about everyone's story coming to an end.
Yeah.
Besides that, I felt like it serves more purpose.
Yeah. So it's he was very funny in this.
Yeah, that was funny. He was just like, smash.
Okay, because so they go back in time. So wait, what happens is the team split up and they're going to different points in time to pick up the different stones. And New York has 3 stones in it in 2012.
Why did I not realize that in the first Avengers? I always considered the Space Stone, but the Mind Stone was also there, being used by Loki.
Well, we didn't know that was the Mind Stone at the time.
Is that why I didn't notice it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait. There was another
and we have
stone?
to know that Thanos had the Mind Stone and he gave it to Loki to use.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't tell anyone it was the Mind Stone.
Okay, I did not pick up on that until even then. I was like, wait, what's the third stone?
Yeah, and just like he didn't tell Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy that he was collecting the Power Stone.
Yeah.
So Thanos kept that stuff close to the chest. So they all
that's crazy that the Ancient One was actually helping them the battle in New York too.
I think that was excellent because it shows you that these other heroes that were there at this time weren't just doing nothing.
Well, like that's what we always say. Right. We're like, it's New York. New York has like 10 million superheroes in it.
Yeah.
Where were they? Well, they were doing things.
Yeah.
Just in a different part of the
city.
But
they were right, and they are supposed to be kept hidden.
Yeah.
Like they weren't supposed to be known because it's like they're protecting the different realms, but secretly.
Yeah. So I thought that was a nice touch. So like, hey, these other people aren't just sitting back, watching the Avengers get their butt kicked by aliens.
It was definitely a really nice touch.
Yeah.
And then to say like Doctor Strange doesn't exist yet. He's doing surgery right now.
That was good. I'm gonna get to that point, but you were talking about Professor Hulk. So when they're in New York, that was funny because they're supposed to be blending in. So they tell Bruce to smash some stuff along the way, and he just doesn't want to do it. It's so funny.
Right.
Yeah. To me, that was one of the funniest parts of the movie. I mean, there was some way funnier parts.
Because then he also say he was like, "Man, I was so angry then."
Yeah. I like how you can see how much smaller he is than the other version of the Hulk too. Oh. He's definitely smaller when they show both.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did not notice that, but all right.
Because the Professor Hulk's kind of a mix between the two,
Right.
So, but yeah, that's pretty good. There was another funny scene with the Hulk too.
Oh, with the elevator?
when they made Hulk go down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's so many stairs."
And I was just like, why didn't he just jump down the stairs?
Right?
Like jump down the middle. But I mean, it would have destroyed everything though.
Still.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
it was
funny.
like, whoa, weight capacity.
Um, and I do like how they commented. So, at the end of Avengers, we get that nice scene with them all posing in front of Loki.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then right after that, Tony's like, okay, we can't sit here posing all day. Let's... Perfect, because honestly, in real life, that makes no sense.
Right, like, why are we just
posing in front of this dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I thought that was like, okay, that's cute. Because it's like, it's cool for a movie, but in real life, you're like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then with Ant-Man talking about Captain America's butt. Like, really, dude?
The way I see it, that's America's butt.
America's butt.
So at this point, the movie does pick up in levity and is a bit happier at this point. And you need this section.
Because it was all doom and gloom for like at least an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you got that. So here's when we get all the time travel explained, and there are a lot of. I don't like time travel because it never makes sense, and I would say they did their best to make this make sense as much as possible, but there are still plot holes.
There are. We'll get to it when we get to the end, but plot hole.
Yeah. But the Ancient One explains time travel, and then
Hawk explains it,
and it works until you think about it.
it works until they screwed it up.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to that at the end of the movie. But that was cool. We get this Captain America on Captain America fight.
Right, which was cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love how they were like, the old Captain America, I can do this all day.
It's like, I know.
That was perfect. I'm like, who are the writers for this? That was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you got that. So much good stuff. All these actors coming back just for these little cameos.
Like, everyone ever.
Yeah.
Like, I love the call back to the Winter Soldier's elevator scene.
I was like...
And I was like, dang, dude, that's gonna suck for y'all. But then I like how they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he just was like, Hail Hydra.
Right. It's like you were waiting for
like,
this dude to, like, just start beating him up. And then he was just like, Hail Hydra.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
And dude, that worked too. And you satisfy that little comic book storyline. Without him actually being part of Hydra, because the big part of that was like that page with Captain America saying "Hail Hydra."
Yeah, which
and
was nonsense, but yeah.
That was so. Again, writers, like I need these writers. You guys want to write my book for me? This would be great.
Yeah. But a major part about that is they lost the Space Stone.
Yes. So throughout this, they lost the Space Stone. So now Tony and Cap have to go back further in time to get the Space Stone again, which actually led to some pretty good scenes because Tony got to meet up with Howard again.
Right, his dad.
Yeah, and that someone said this, and this movie really, really was pointing us to Tony Stark dying the entire time. He just got closure on everything. He got his kid. He got to talk to his dad for a final time, the way that he always wanted to.
Yeah.
Right.
And
because it's like, as a kid, he just knew his dad was always working, always busy, never had time for him.
Yeah.
So I guess I mean, it wasn't surprising. It was still
so
I didn't care too much about Captain America seeing Sharon Carter. I mean,
Peggy Carter.
Peggy.
Yeah,
Peggy.
but I mean, you knew that was coming because that's his that's his
and
boo.
she's a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's not that impossible.
I knew that was going to happen.
The major part was that him getting closure with his father.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of that.
Yeah.
So the Captain America wasn't that important in that.
No, it was him and his father. Other thing with them getting the stones was Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Hawkeye and Black Widow. Okay.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't even pick up on it until they were like there, and I was like, whoa, one of them has to die.
Well, I didn't think about what the team was. Like, when they first started the mission, I was like, how are they going to do the Soul Stone thing? And then when, like you said, when they got there and it's Hawkeye and Black Widow, I'm like, because I didn't even think about it when they were flying to Vormir.
Right, and then I was like, oh, wait, yeah, you got to sacrifice somebody.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I was 100% sure it was going to be Hawkeye.
I did too, and I felt kind of bad because I'm like, Jeremy Renner gets no love in these movies. He comes back, and then they just kill him. And I mean, for the life of me,
I didn't think it was going to be him.
Right. Really?
Oh, go ahead.
Because I just feel like the Black Widow to me was the last person on his team I thought would die.
Yeah.
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 When it got to the point where they realized that someone was going to have to die, I didn't think it was going to be him, because if they're going to bring everyone back,
right? He's the one with the family.
He's dead, right? He's dead, but then his whole family is here. Yeah.
So yeah.
Whereas, because they even mentioned it when in the beginning with Black Widow, after she got done talking with everybody on the comms, and Captain America came in, and she was like, she doesn't have any family, and she was like, or he made mention, was like, well, we're your family, or she said that they're a family. Yeah.
Yep. and I get it, because this was like probably the only way for her to get closure, because she doesn't really have anyone but this team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she spent a lot of time trying to redeem herself for everything she did when she was a part of the KGB.
Yeah, she mentioned that since the first Avengers movie.
So I certainly get it, like this was her closure, but still.
Yeah. I do like how they framed it, and they each one, they're not going to choose the other person.
Right.
Because unlike Thanos, they're good people.
Although, they're supposed to sacrifice someone, and she sacrificed herself. Technically, he was the one who's supposed to throw her off. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was
the
important.
Soul Stone rule is kind of sketchy.
It was still a sacrifice, and he still kind of... He tried to stop it, but it was still kind of...
Right, like, so I just felt like, because, it seemed like to me he wanted to, like, run and jump off the cliff.
I don't know if that would have worked.
That's what I'm saying. Would that have worked?
Yeah. But the way she did it, I think it still works.
I know she said, like, just let me go, but he didn't really let her go.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm fine. It's not a huge deal, but I'm just like, the Soul Stone rules are kind of sketchy.
Yeah. I mean, well, you gotta think. I think it has to do with that mountain. Like, I think if Gamora ran and jumped off, it still would have worked because Thanos lost.
Yeah, because I think it's all about the two people that's there. Both of them have to care about the other person, or one of the person has to care about the other person.
I'm not talking about whether or not they love each other. I'm just saying it wasn't a real sacrifice. It's like, I think it's supposed to be that you have to sacrifice something you love to make it hard for you too.
But see, I don't know if it's going that deep. I think they just.
But then it can't be that way, because Thanos killed Gamora.
He loves her.
Well, he loves her, even though it's not. It's demented and it's backwards. But in his mind, he loves her.
No. I'm not saying that they don't have true love for each other. I know that. I'm saying that it wasn't a true sacrifice
because he didn't throw her off.
Because he didn't throw her off.
So I'm going back to the scene with Gamora and Thanos. When Gamora tried to stop him, she didn't try to jump off and kill herself. She tried to stab herself to death, because then it would be invalid. She would have been dead before she went over. Yeah. So I think it's just
the part it has the cliff going over.
They have to go over the cliff. Yeah. So, but man, I was not expecting her to die.
No.
And I
not before that scene. I was.
Yeah. Also, this scene proves that Gamora's death was permanent.
She's dead. Gamora was dead. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Only thing is, I feel like the Black Widow didn't get no love. I mean, she didn't get no funeral. Nothing.
Well, they did have that extended scene when he came back.
Man, that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But, and it kind of makes sense, but they had to go forward.
They were still trying, they still had to defeat Thanos, because
Tony's funeral? I was expecting a statue or something.
Yeah, they could have combined her.
They could have did it afterwards. Yeah. They could have did it afterwards.
All right, so then
it's like, all right, the war is over, guys. Yeah.
All right, then we have the Power Stone.
The only good part, I guess, or the important part about that, I would say, is that Nebula gets captured.
Well, that was the whole thing because Power Stone was easy.
Yeah.
But this sets up Act 3.
Yeah.
Because since there are two nebulas, Thanos gets wind of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I have to say, at this point,
because since it's two of her in that timeline, her programming is what gives it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, man, like...
Right. So basically she told on herself without even knowing, without her even knowing that she was telling on herself.
Yeah. And this part is... This part setting up... Because them going back in time and collecting the stones, almost everybody guessed was happening.
Yeah.
This part about the Thanos they're fighting being the one from the past... No one guessed this. This was a subversion of expectation again that I say works because no one guessed this. Like no one thought that like, oh hey, because of Nebula now Thanos knows what happens in the future and he's gonna steal a thing and go to the future to get all the stones because they're all collected for him already.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. And it made mention about what was going on with Ronan. Because like with the whole thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, it made it seem like Thanos didn't really care that Ronan was betraying him.
He didn't.
But from this aspect of the scene, it was like, yeah, he did care, but he was just like, he can't do nothing to me. I'm going to take care of Ronan when that time comes. So it was just like, it wasn't like it was an absent thing as it seemed like it was in Guardians of the Galaxy. So it was like, Thanos was like, oh, I get to him. It's just these other things that I'm taking care of right now is more important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got that. I just love the setup.
You know what I like is that Nebula played a big role in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of a shout out to the Infinity Gauntlet comic because she's the one who defeats Thanos in the comic, which, okay, she's not the one who did it in the movie. But I still like how they gave her such a major role in the movie. And that a lot of things, was because of her.
Yeah. Also, because of her, they had the chance to defeat Thanos.
Yeah.
In Act 3, she's the one that actually gave them that chance because Paz Gamora was about to die.
Yeah.
And so was Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So, we have that, and I think that was it with the time heist.
Yeah.
So, Act 2, I think that was excellent, and then that whole setup into Act 3. Man, I didn't call that. Nobody called that. That was excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I still I really like how Tony can make anything he wants. Yeah, like, oh, an Infinity Gauntlet, who cares? It was forged by giant Thors.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, I can make one of these. Like,
yeah.
Like, what?
I think everyone's kind of mentioning that, and I kind of agree. It's kind of like, so Stark Tech can handle the power of the
Apparently.
Stones. Thanos couldn't make anything like that?
No, he had to beat up not elves, the dwarves. Dwarfs?
But, I mean, you know what? Honestly, it kind of makes sense for Thanos to do that.
Well, he's not a scientist, so he needs someone else to do his dirty work.
He also always gets someone else to do it for him.
Yes.
So it makes sense. He goes, well, they can do it. So
Well, I'm not saying how come Thanos, I'm saying how come Stark can do it.
Because he's smart. He's like one of the...
Right, like how... Like
that means Shuri can do it too, because she's smarter than Stark, right?
Like, Stark woke up and was like... I know time travel. That was fast.
Yeah. But we all accept it for this movie.
Because comic books.
But you know what? In the end, it doesn't take away from the movie. It's not like one of those things where you're like, okay.
It's very convenient.
It's very convenient. But hey, actually, it made it really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, Act 3.
Right, because he still didn't do nothing then. He sat there and was like, bring me the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it was like, what are you going to do?
Your work yourself.
Never.
So lazy.
Yeah, it was like, what are you going to do? He was like sit here.
Like Bane and Batman was like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to beat Batman, but beat him up for me first.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. That doesn't really count.
So
but...
lazy, Thanos.
Yeah.
All right, so Act 3, kicking off with them, the Avengers doing their own snap, which actually, Act 3, when it really gets going, you forget that they've done a snap.
Because it's like they did it, and you're like, oh, it worked, and then you don't. Right. I didn't really expect Thanos to come in there and blow up the place.
Right. It's like, as soon as he snapped, they just like...
Yeah, and then Thanos
did it, and then everything blows up.
Yeah, and so then
Yeah.
they're thrown into this fight with Thanos. So yeah, like that's just, and Act 3 just kicks off. And again, I'm gonna say this best Act 3 I've seen. Like, oh my gosh, this was excellent. So they've done their snap, which the Hawk had to do because he was the only person they believed that could survive doing it, which I feel is true. And his snap was to bring back everybody that died, the half of the people that died.
We forgot to mention Thor.
Oh, we didn't mention Thor throughout this whole thing.
Right. I just thought about because I was
Or
thinking like
we didn't even talk about their time heist of him and Rocket.
Oh, and the Reality Stone.
well because it was only important because he got closure with
his
Why
mom.
can't I
Yeah,
say
he did
this
get
word?
closure with his mother. Yeah,
Right, because getting the Reality Stone was easy.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it was,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
just that scene with his mom was like pretty much like giving him the confidence he needed again.
Also, he stole Mjolnir from
Which was
2014.
also very important because he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to need this.
Yeah, so now Thor has both the axe and his hammer.
Yes. Very
from
smart.
the past,
Yes.
which is pretty good. And let's Well, we'll talk Fat Thor when we get to characters. I'm gonna go over the characters a little bit, but Fat Thor,
Yes.
hilarious.
Okay, so back to Act 3.
So Act 3, oh my goodness! Like, so it kicks off, and so now everybody's like under rubble, and then they notice that Thanos is here. So Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America are there, and they're like, "Okay, we got to take this dude on."
Yeah.
And it's just, man, it just explodes into this awesome battle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my number one favorite moment in the entire MCU is Captain America calling Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes, dude.
just
Dude.
so epic.
The best.
Yes, it was epic.
best
And I mean, am
scene,
I
man.
the only one like in that scene when Thanos is like handing it to Thor, and I'm like, Captain America's going to pick it up. I just knew it. I'm like, he's going to pick it up.
I don't know. I was thinking
I
Thor
didn't
was
know.
I thought it was
Right.
gonna be
I
Thor.
didn't
I
either.
just, in my, I was like,
just
I'm
like,
it's
man,
Captain
I'm
America.
like, is this a new thing with Thor's power? Like, he's summoning the hammer without even having his hands?
Yeah, and so I said this to my wife a few weeks ago because I was rewatching the movies and I watched Age of Ultron, and I told her, I was like, hey, I think in this movie, because I was looking at it and I was like, well, the lock on Thor's hammer is not, if you're kind of worthy, you can kind of move a hammer. It's
Right.
either
If
you're
you're-
worthy or you're not.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
since Captain America budgeted, I feel like he could pick it up then.
Right.
And he just chose not to.
Right, like he realized, like, whoa, I
Yeah.
can do it, and didn't, because it makes sense. Because at that moment, how would he have
Right.
known that he could have did it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
why would he even
Why
try
would he
it?
have even tried it?
In Endgame, why would he have even tried it? So he knew he could pick
He
up
knew he
one-
can do
one
it,
of
and
it.
at that point,
Because
Thor's
it's
about
not,
to get
it's not,
cut
it's
in
not
half.
the point. Yeah, it's not the point of it being heavy.
Yeah.
It's if you can pick it up, is you just gonna pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about like weight to
Yeah.
it at all.
Yeah, so he knew this entire time
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
could do it.
And you could tell in Age of Ultron when he was struggling, it wasn't him really trying. He was like, just like, oh, well, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that he knew he could
knew.
pick it
Yeah.
up.
And I mean, honestly, if anyone's worthy, it's Captain America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely worthy.
Yeah.
So that's just so epic. And then
Yeah.
we had that little part of the battle where he had Stormbreaker, and then Thor's like, no, you take the small one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
he was just fantastic with it, and I just...
Yeah. Well, can we talk about the poetry of Thanos about to stab Thor in his chest with
doing the
Stormbreaker?
same thing he was doing.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
talking, that slow, like, you could have just killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Same thing. Yeah, if Thanos just killed him.
If Thanos
but
could
he
just killed
didn't.
him.
And let's
Yeah.
talk about Thanos from 2014.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely way more ruthless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's like when you know the future, he's like, because
Yeah,
he said it, he was like,
he saw that he succeeded, but he still died.
yeah. So he's like, I'm going to do
Yeah.
it again, and I'm going to get rid of all of you. Well, he said he's going to wipe out everybody.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
Earth was just gone.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think, like, the point was, like, he realized then and there, and I don't know why you didn't realize it after the Avengers, I got to kill you guys.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are this beacon of hope that the world doesn't need.
Yeah,
And
so
he-
he's like, he's got
Right, he was like, I have to. He had to snap out the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No one needs to have no remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
man, that battle, and then Thanos'
The homage,
Well,
the homage, dude,
yeah,
to
like
all the women heroes.
yeah,
Pepper Potts in the Iron Man suit.
yeah. Well, we didn't get to that part yet. We can get to that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But
okay.
anyhow, so the strength of Thanos in this, without any stones at all, like he's taking all these people on, breaking Captain America's shield apart.
Yeah.
Like this dude is nearly unstoppable. So we saw them lose when he had the stones. They probably would have lost when he didn't have the stones.
Yeah, I feel like
True.
in Infinity War, he was kind of probably like a little lackadaisical because he felt like I'm going to win anyway.
But yeah, he knew he was getting
And
the
this
stones.
time
and he was just gonna
around,
do it.
he was just like, nothing's holding me back. Like, you
Yeah.
guys are out the game. And then, I mean, when Scarlet Witch came,
Yes.
well, I guess we got to
yeah.
get to the intro of all the
Well,
people.
I was about
okay.
to say.
So let's get to this
we're gonna
now.
jump to this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just,
Well, let's get to this now because this is the next most epic thing
Yeah.
in this. So, like I
Which
said
is true.
before, I forgot that they had snapped people back.
because they were fighting.
Yeah.
And it was just like the
It
three
just
of them.
threw me into the Thanos fight, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh my
because
god,
you're
they're gonna
right.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did. Even though Captain America did all of that with the hammer, Thor still kicked. I mean, Thanos still kicked his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still kicked his butt. He was getting it in with Thanos, and then Thanos was just like, "Nah,
Yeah.
not going out
And then
like
it's
that."
just like, hey, Cap, can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Cap is Sam.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Sam.
oh,
He
yeah.
was like he was like on your left.
And then just everybody from the MCU, everyone,
Everybody ever.
everybody ever, because you gotta remember, all these people came back, so
Yeah.
they were all still on Titan, they were all still in Wakanda, they were everywhere, and
Yep.
then of course they brought everybody from the Sanctums and stuff from
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yep. The Ravagers.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Guardians of the Galaxy all come back, and you just see them all emerge in just like this epic, like we're standing against this guy.
Yeah. And I was saying like Thanos, like, dude, just give it up. Like,
Yeah, this dude still put up a
Yeah.
fight.
yeah, because I was just like, dude,
Yeah,
like,
but you seen the look on his face. He was
yeah,
crap.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was just kind of like, oh, for real, y'all got an army too.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and it was just, you saw that, and you saw everybody come in. Pepper landing in the rescue outfit.
And to that point, I completely forgot that she was going to be in it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but like,
And we
yeah.
said and they did leak that and said that she was going to have a
I
suit.
completely forgot it, and I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
more of this, please, you know? And it was just amazing. And then you mentioned Scarlet Witch. There's more about the battle. Well,
Yeah.
one, let me say this. I don't, like, my least favorite parts, Avengers, it was fine. But Age of Ultron, and even in Infinity War, I don't like the faceless people battle that they have in all these movies. Like, oh, they're just fighting all these faceless people. Battle of Wakanda, Thor coming in was excellent. And then the rest of it with Thanos and stuff, to me, I really liked. But them fighting just the faceless beast,
Yeah,
whatever,
Yeah.
it was uninteresting. But this
yeah.
was done so well. Like, I enjoyed this part so much.
Because it was like everybody had a chance to get a piece at Thanos
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like Scarlet Witch because I think, I don't know if I ever mentioned on this, but before, I always felt like they never really showed how strong
How
she
powerful.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing. I'm gonna go back to our news. Brie Larson, while you keep on talking about you're the strongest, no, you are not. Scarlet Witch was going to take out Thanos herself, by herself. She was destroying this dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, she is
Because he
powerful.
killed Vision, a robot,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah,
way.
well, look, she loved that robot. Okay,
That's another conversation on its own.
look, that was her toy. I'm gonna say what kind of toy? It was her toy. So, like, yes, she is definitely the most powerful. So much so that he had to just start randomly firing on the field, not caring
Yes.
about his own troops.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
she can break away from him.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah, because dude was about to be gone.
Yes.
Like, out the game.
Also,
Yeah, because when he saw her come at him, he looking at her like, really?
He like, I already beat
what
you
are you
once.
gonna do? Yeah. Yeah.
Because in Infinity War,
Like-
he just punch her.
But I mean, when you look at Infinity, no,
Oh, he had the stones, and she was putting up a good fight.
she stopped. He had 5 stones, and she was holding him back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but I feel like this movie,
she was holding him back and destroying another Infinity Stone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she's
This
Yeah.
movie, I feel like, but they for real. Like I've been saying it for so long. I'm like, she is so powerful, and they have not done her justice until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, she was definitely done justice here
Yes.
because she was about to beat Thanos all by herself.
Yes.
Of course, it got stopped, which is like, of course, you
course.
needed to.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
then
Then Captain Marvel.
Captain
shows up.
Marvel, I have to say, I enjoyed this entrance.
Oh yeah, no, it was
I
cool
did,
because it
too.
was just like everyone's like, wait, what's
Why'd they
happening?
stop firing on the field
Yeah.
and they're just shooting
Yeah.
at something in the sky?
Yeah,
and I'm
he's
like, oh,
like-
it's Captain Marvel.
It's like, what are they firing at? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
And
was
she
here.
comes in like a beast.
Yeah.
I did like her
Yeah.
little introduction with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And he's like, hi, I'm Peter. She's like, hi, Peter. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
So, and then right then, now this is what Derek was talking about with all the female leads in the movie. A lot of people are pointing
Yeah.
to this looks like A-Force, which I never heard of until now, but it's like an Avengers female team.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a female Avengers team.
So
Yeah.
basically what we had there was A-Force.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we'll get an A-Force movie in the future,
that's kind of cool.
which would be pretty
Wow.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and because I think in the comics they're headed by Captain Marvel too. So,
Yes, they are.
yeah. So,
Yep.
be pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see it because, I mean, Valkyrie was there.
So can we talk about where Valkyrie got Pegasus from?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, wherever they went off to, because we forgot to mention that Asgardians are there too.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't important.
Yeah.
Well, remember, she and half of the people that was on Thor's ship left and went somewhere.
That's not important.
So she picked up Pegasus somewhere.
Okay, I'm just Pegasus is a thing. One.
Yeah, well, they showed that in the Ragnarok.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were all riding on flying horses.
Why don't I remember that?
You don't?
No,
When they were fighting Hela?
I don't remember.
No?
'Cause I was like, oh, it's a flying
Oh,
horse.
yeah. I didn't think about that.
I
mean,
don't remember that.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
Valkyrie.
when I saw it in the movie, I didn't think about that because I was like, well, she had it in Ragnarok.
Oh, well, I don't remember her having a Ragnarok. That's why I was like, where did this flying horse come from?
Yeah. Well, it's good. Well, I was glad to see Valkyrie, Rescue, Captain Marvel, Okoye, Shuri was there,
Yeah.
Wasp, just everybody. Now, that was ham-fisted.
Of course
I'm
it
gonna,
was. It was
you know,
so obvious, yeah.
It was definitely ham-fisted, but you know what? It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was so
I didn't
cool.
care.
Yeah.
It was.
You know?
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like showing that audience, like, look what we have.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so it was like, okay. So all the females are there to
Yeah.
help her get the... Because at this point, they're trying to take the stones back in time.
Yeah.
Because if they do, Thanos
Yeah.
can't get it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right.
that's fine. So they're trying to get it to Luis's van, which has the quantum realms... Luis? The van that has the quantum realm stuff.
Okay.
Right.
so
With the
they're
horn.
Yeah, that. So it was pretty awesome, you know, just to see. So they're all like making a path for Captain Marvel to get there and stuff,
Yeah.
and then her fight with Thanos
Which was cool.
was very cool.
Although Thanos, dude, you're so smart.
He is smart. So
Yeah.
first of all, he tosses her, which I'm like, dang. So Thanos is still pretty strong.
Yeah.
But then that one part where she's trying to get the gauntlet off of him and he headbutts her and it does nothing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
She's pretty strong.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they're like pretty.
Yeah,
evenly
no, yeah.
matched.
No, I mean, she's very strong. He's very strong.
It could be
and-
even. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even,
He's a
like I
better
said,
fighter.
he was so ruthless in this. He doesn't, like, okay, when we look at Infinity War and Captain America's holding the gauntlet, he pauses for a second like, man, this human is
He's putting up a
strong.
fight, yeah.
And then he just moves
Yeah.
on, punches him in the face, boom, boom.
Yeah.
This one, he's like, nope. Takes the Power Stone off the gauntlet and just punches
Yeah.
Captain Marvel like just out there, just gone.
Yeah.
Like she's done
Yeah.
at that point. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, man.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's
Smart
cool.
move though.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that's where you get that little sign from Doctor Strange letting Tony know, like,
Yeah. There was
This-
one chance
yeah, this is
to
it.
do this.
Right.
And so Tony Stark goes up to him. Smart move, didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
He didn't. Yeah. He thought he was reaching for the gauntlet,
yeah, and
and he reached for the stones.
Thanos snaps his fingers
Which I
again.
was like,
I'm like, what? So I'm like, so what did he take away now? Like, what's going to happen? You know?
Yeah. Because he was like, because I'm
Inevitable. And so it just so happens the stones aren't there because Tony took them.
Yeah.
And perfect way to end this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Iron Man started the franchise and he says, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Snaps his fingers and all of Thanos' army goes away.
Yeah. Because didn't Thanos say how or something like that?
No, I think he was saying like he was pretty much saying like it didn't matter, I was gonna win anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I am inevitable.
Yeah. So basically, even though they went back in time to undo it, he still shows up with all the stones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Tony's like, and I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
Crazy.
Yeah. So.
Crazy. And
Tony Stark is not strong enough to wield the power of the gauntlet.
No. I figured that was how one of them, either Captain America or Tony Stark, was going to die. Or a combination of them both trying to use it together. But this one, it was just Tony. And they gave him a good send-off, you know. You had, first Rhodey comes in, and then Spider-Man, you know, kind of the flipped version of what you got in Infinity War, which I thought was pretty good, you know. And then Pepper killed it for me. I'm gonna admit, like that when Pepper came in, that killed it for me. Yeah. Because they like I said, they set it up so much, and since we're at the end of the movie, this is gonna go into my talking about Iron Man. They set it up so much that at the beginning of the movie, when he figured out the time travel thing, she said, "Okay, you can get rid of this idea, but are you going to be able to rest?"
Right.
And then, we got this.
I didn't catch that.
Well, yeah, because she.
I remember her saying that.
Because remember, she was saying that this entire time, her whole problem with him was that he couldn't stop being Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know, and so even then she was like, you're not going to be able to let this go. You cannot, you're not going to be able to let them walk away and fight this fight by themselves.
Yeah. And then at the end, so when he's dying and she, you know, holds back her sadness and says, okay, it's okay.
Right.
We're all okay. You can rest now.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that just hits you, like, seriously. And then the arc reactor goes out and I'm like, you know, screw you to the entire movie. Because, you know, like I said, in Infinity War, when he got stabbed, it's like, even though you know that something like this is happening, you don't want him to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know.
And you know what I think what really made it sad, too? Tony didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I kept waiting for him to say something witty, like he normally always does.
That would have killed it if they did something witty.
I think it was like perfect the way it was. You know, I think it was.
Yeah,
just,
I mean, how they did it, that made it more touch. It made it that just more touching. Because it's just like, wow, like he gave all he had, like he couldn't even like have a comeback.
Well, I don't
or
know.
say something funny.
He's like trying to fight and stay alive, and you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like you needed Pepper Potts to be like, it's okay.
Yep.
Look, it's okay. Stop fighting.
Yeah, like like we won. You did your job. You accomplished all that need to be accomplished, and then me and your daughter will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter makes it sadder.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's coming from the standpoint of being a parent or whatever, but it's like it makes it so much more sadder because man, like he's got this little girl, and screw you, Russos.
I think what made it sadder to me is like, it's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. She's like, are you hungry? And she's like, I want a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
He asked her what she wanted.
Yeah, she said she wants a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
The
and
little hologram scene that at his funeral.
Yeah.
And call back to his daughter saying, I love you 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, you're right. They should have had a Black Widow thing there.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Like,
she's just dead.
She's just dead. Like, y'all.
Yeah, but everybody was at his funeral, including the boy from Iron Man 3.
Which I feel like that was more than just that boy being there, right?
Well, they did. I think they focused on him because maybe he's the next Iron Man.
I don't know. I feel like they focused on him, and I'm like, who's that?
Yeah,
they did focus on him because that was my thing. I was like, I don't know who this is.
Because like they panned across everyone, and then I felt like they stopped and focused on him.
I feel like they focused on Hawkeye's family too.
Right? Was there a little Japanese boy with that family?
No.
I'm telling you, he looked Japanese.
he did look Japanese.
All right. So yeah, we had everybody there, and then you had Happy with his daughter.
Yeah.
Which explains why also in the Spider-Man trailer that Pepper Potts signed the check in the Spider-Man trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And Happy's the one giving it to him. Because Tony's not there anymore.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then... So that's the closure for Tony. And then we got to talk about the closure for Captain America.
We got to talk about this time travel foolery he pulled off.
So Captain America, of course, they have to send the stones back. Because as explained earlier in the movie, there's going to be a bunch of split bad timelines if the stones are taken out of their respective places.
So they have to be where they were removed at that point in time.
So Captain America takes that back. Also, side note, I didn't notice today, he took Mjolnir back too.
Right, yeah.
So,
yes.
Which is awesome because he can. Because otherwise there would be a Thor out there in 2014 without his hammer.
Yeah, so he took that back
He took that back too.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, good attention to detail, guys. But then also we mess some stuff up.
Yeah.
So Cap is supposed to come back, but he doesn't. And he decides to settle down in the 1940s and live with Peggy Carter. And he finally gets his dance, and it's beautiful, and it's such an excellent closer for this character. However, as Davina will explain, it kind of messes with with what they established. It messes it up a little bit.
Yeah, because so they said that in the beginning, Hulk said that you cannot change the past in order to alter the future. So basically, that what you change will create another reality. Mm-hmm. So if Captain America goes back to 1945, that creates a separate reality, one where he doesn't die and he gets Peggy and they live happily ever after, and one where he does die and lives in a modern time. But if with Peggy is a separate reality, he cannot show up in the present as an old man.
Right.
Because then you merge two realities.
Yeah.
So they screwed that part up.
Yeah, so he would just not come back to
He
our
couldn't
time.
come back at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Present Cap disappears and never comes back, but old man Cap cannot be in that reality.
Yeah. So that's kind of a small plot hole, but I get why they did it, and I'm just going to ignore it and say there's alternate realities, and we're just not paying attention to them. We're paying attention to this one timeline. Also, Loki left with the Tesseract. That also creates...
Right.
So that's another reality. There's a reality in which Loki escapes, and one where he gets captured.
Yeah, and the thing is, with him escaping, it can't continue in our timeline because Thanos needs to get the Space Stone.
Right. So, him escaping is a separate timeline.
Yeah.
Just like, although Thanos is dead then.
Oh,
because past Thanos died in the...
But remember, the
current
past
one
becomes
died,
future. So...
But after 2014, there is no Thanos because he dies.
Yeah, but the 2018 Thanos happened before the 2014 Thanos.
Right. It doesn't change their presence.
Yeah.
But in 2014, none of the other stuff will happen.
Look,
because he's dead.
Time travel is confusing, and this is why I hate it being used in movies. I get why it had to be used here, and I think it was done well.
Until
but
Captain America ruined it.
It always resorts in some stuff that doesn't make sense. But anyway,
I think it's just because we read into it a little bit too. And also, to be honest, we can't do it.
No, I don't think this is us reading too much into it. I'm fine with Loki being able to escape. Fine. There's two timelines with Loki now. That makes sense. You ruined it when Cap came back as an old man.
In our same timeline.
In the same timeline.
Because technically he should have made a separate timeline.
Right. Because if he's done that in that current timeline, which means that Captain America ignored everything that was going on, or there's two Captain Americas now, something isn't right.
Yeah, because there would be two. One's frozen and one's living with Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
So it kind of
fishy.
It kind of messes some things up. I don't think they're going to address it ever, and they don't need to.
No, they don't.
Because this does give the perfect send off to the character.
I really feel like I know Peggy, his girl. But they could have had him end up with Sharon Carter, who got no love in these movies, who's kind of a beast. he could have just ended up with her, because now it's like freaky. Like, hey, I made out with your niece in the future, and now I'm making out with you, because that's normal.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would say Sharon Carter would have been a good send-off, but it wouldn't have been the perfect send-off, which Peggy Carter, they were trying to give, you gave Tony Stark the perfect send-off, and they were giving Captain America the perfect send-off.
Okay. Yes, I mean, I don't have a problem with him going back. I'm just, by them doing that, they ruined their own rules. They didn't follow their own timeline rules.
Yeah.
Can I say that I like with Thor, with him being part of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
And it's like, they kept that a secret too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But I think one of you guys did mention though.
Oh, that he would be perfect fit for the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
And
Well, because
like
Ragnarok kind of set that up.
Yeah, and I like it because Thor gets, he gets sort of a closer because, he's trying to live up to a name that, honestly, he didn't really want to live up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now he gets to
Right.
become
He doesn't
his
want to be
character.
king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was good for him. And then, I mean, Chris Hemsworth even said that, he's willing to play Thor again because he liked what they did with Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So, that to me, that's the perfect way for him, of the 6 people, to continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chris Hemsworth continue.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, I think, is going to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, dude, a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Chris Pratt and him and Drax. Like, dude.
Hilarious. It's going to be
It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny. I'm looking forward
It's
to
like-
that. So let's
like-
talk about Phase 4. Because they did set up a few things that could be leading up into Phase 4. One was Thor going off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Old Man Cap gave the Captain America shield to Sam. So now we have the Sam Wilson Captain America, so that sets that up for Phase 4. Valkyrie's on Earth with the Asgardians. So we can get a Valkyrie movie or another Asgardian movie. Oh, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, 100%, I want them to call this movie As Guardians of the Galaxy.
It would be
Do
perfect if they did.
Just do it.
It would be perfect if they called it the Asgard.
And just like with the little tape on AS at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
excellent. Please do this.
Cause especially with the scene with them fighting about who's the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, of course. You are the leader. It's like, I know. I'm the leader. Yeah, you're the leader. It was like, oh, y'all should fight for who the leader.
With
It's
knives.
like, yeah, with knives.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be such a good movie. So you got
He was
that.
like, no knives, no fighting.
Because Peter Quill can't fight Thor.
No, he cannot.
No, he cannot. And he knows that he can't.
So we got that set up with him. Did they set anybody else up? Really?
I think that was it.
About it.
I think that was
Hawkeye
it.
is supposed to
Yeah.
get his series training
Right,
a new
him
Hawkeye.
training Kate Bishop so that he's his replacement, which is fine.
Yeah, I think we are going to get an Iron Man replacement. I feel like we are.
I think it might be a little while before we do, though.
You think so?
Which is why I think they showed the boy, because remember, the boy is really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might get the boy as a new form of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which actually helps because he's not going to be overpowered anymore. And that's another thing. I was thinking about Spider-Man and how he's kind of overpowered with the Iron Spider suit. Mm-hmm. Well, suit kind of got damaged during this battle, right?
He doesn't
And
have
there's
it
no
anymore.
Tony Stark to make him another one.
Yeah.
So now he just has shield tech.
Well, it doesn't matter, because even though he had the suit, Iron Man is such a dummy. I mean, he was getting his butt kicked in Homecoming.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Well, he's also a teenager, so...
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course, Spider-Man is already set up, and then we're going to have all the repeat people, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. So that's going to be set for Phase 4. I'm so satisfied with this movie.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, there are some things I wonder about. Like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about Phase 4. I'm questioning. I know Sam becomes Captain America in the comics, but he's not. He's Captain America in name only.
Yeah, because he's not strong.
Yes.
He's not strong. He's just a guy with a
It's
shield
only his
now.
name. Yeah.
So I just wonder how that works, because we don't need you.
Maybe they find some way to give him a super soldier serum.
How? It's gone.
Mm.
Yeah.
the one
That's
thing
why
they
there
can't
are no other
recreate.
super soldiers.
Well, you got to do it for Black Cat.
Oh, is that how she become?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Black Cat has Captain
Yeah.
America's super soldier serum.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I had no idea how she
yeah, I
got her
forgot
powers.
about that.
So maybe they find like there was something left over, not the formula, but like a piece of the serum or something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if him and Peggy had a bunch of superpowered kids, that's how you get mutants or something. And
I don't think they had
Yo,
kids.
that'd be cool. So no end credit scene.
right, no.
No. But I don't think it needed.
No, it didn't. I think it was perfect because I feel like
It was the
you want
end.
people to focus on this movie.
Yeah, it was the end.
This is the end.
Yeah, so don't focus on the future of it because this
Yeah.
is the end.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool how they had the original 6 like sign off on the movie
Mm-hmm.
basically,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, that was amazing. I think that was pretty cool. So you get sort of a mid credit thing. It's in the credits, but the original 6 you see special graphics and them sign off.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome, perfect.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't see
Oh,
them.
I guess y'all made mention about Pepper Potts.
What about her?
Gwyneth said that this was her last movie that she was doing with MCU too.
Yeah,
Well,
you're-
obviously.
Yeah, so you're not getting rescue. I believe Rhodey's done too.
Yeah, because I feel like as much as I like Rhodey and them, without Iron Man, you serve no purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have the rescue armor. See, that's the thing. The rescue armor could go to somebody else.
It
Not
can
the
be his
'cause
daughter.
she's too young.
It can be the boy from the third one.
The rescue armor looks like it's built for females, so I don't
Definitely
know about the
built
boy.
for a woman.
No, I'm not him, but the boy. Because like you may mention that he's smart enough.
Oh, to build it into
Oh, to
something
make an
else.
Iron Man armor.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
make an Iron Man armor.
I'm sure there'd
Yeah.
be a reason for it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it definitely closed the book on Happy, Pepper Potts, Rhodey, and all
Yeah.
of that.
Well, Happy's in Spider-Man. Yeah, he'll show
Well, you
up
know what I
in
mean.
there.
I mean, that's because John Favreau just...
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
let's not forget he kickstarted the MCU too.
He did.
Yeah.
Which is why,
Yeah.
he gets to end it, too.
Yeah.
Had a nice little conversation with the girl.
So sad. Yeah. So, excellent ending. I personally am excited to see where they go next because I don't know what stories they're going to tell, but it's got to start over. So, I think we all need to just calm down from
Yeah.
because there was a build up with all these movies, and we got to go back
Yeah.
to start just from the beginning. We're starting with new heroes doing new things.
When is the next movie coming out? Is something coming out in 2020?
It has to be
Black
Does it have to
Panther
be?
2 and the Eternals is what it's
Eternals.
called
It's
there,
coming out
or
in
Celestials.
Eternals.
Eternals, yeah.
Okay.
Those two are definitely confirmed for 2020.
Okay.
And Black Widow.
So I don't know what would the third movie
That'd be
because
too
it's usually
soon.
3 movies.
That
Black Widow started casting already.
But they haven't started shooting.
I think they're starting shooting this summer.
And it'll be ready by 2020?
Marvel does movies in a year.
They shot 2
Yeah, they
movies
do.
in a year.
Yeah, so and 2 epic movies in a year they shot. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think that's the 3 we're gonna get. So nothing really, unless
Yeah.
the Eternals can set some new stuff up because I don't know what they're doing with that. Is that in the past?
Yeah.
or in the present?
Well, I saw something that said what movies that they do have slated to come out next.
we don't
and
know until
so-
after Spider-Man: Far From Home. So I ain't listening
I'm
to
sure
what
that
nobody
might
else
set up
says.
some new stuff.
Yeah,
Well, no, they said that's ending the
Yeah,
phase
it's an
3.
epilogue.
Yeah, that's the ending. Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah,
that,
but they were saying like confirmed to like where they're going to start filming or is already in the works. So, the Eternals, Black Panther 2, and Black Widow, and then The Legend of Shang-Chi and
Shang-Chi.
Doctor Strange 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. There was like those 6 movies
Guardians
are
isn't
coming out.
starting until after Suicide Squad.
Huh?
he said, no, those are just the movies that's coming out next.
Those movies are coming out.
Yeah, no, what?
Marvel confirmed that those 6 movies are going to be the next movies.
Yeah, but that's
now they
nothing
didn't say
new.
like what how they're going to come out, what's going to be the connection.
Right, no, my only
You
question
know.
was what, was there something lined up for next year?
Yeah.
Only
what I
thing
wanna know.
I know that was confirmed from next year was Black Panther 2 and the Eternals.
So we're going to find out after Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah,
That's when they're going to let us know the information on Phase 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Spider-Man has to come out.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, that was the movie. Excellent movie. If you've seen it, of course, you know, you saw it because you listened to us, go see it again.
Oh, and
amazing. What's up?
We can end it off with, they finally said Avengers Assemble.
They did. Oh, that was
Yes.
I forgot about that.
I saw that coming too.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's finally gonna say it. Although technically, every time he says Avengers Assemble, they're already assembled.
That's true.
Even
Yeah.
in the even in the cartoon, I'm like, they're already there.
Yeah, they're assembled already.
Okay,
Well, in
we're
the
in the
cartoon,
room
you
with
had that
you.
cool suit up scene that they do in all the animes.
Right.
So now you had that in our Avengers cartoon
Yeah.
where like Falcon had his costume coming on and stuff. So
Yeah.
funny.
No, but it was cool. It wasn't corny. I thought
hey,
Right.
on Disney Plus, you think we're gonna get Earth Mightiest Heroes?
they better put that back on there.
I want to watch that again.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
borrowing it from YouTube.
I would definitely watch that again. And they need to bring back the 1990 X-Men cartoon.
All right, that's gonna be on there. That was Fox.
guaranteed. Come on,
Guaranteed on there.
guaranteed.
All right. So we're not gonna have the what you're doing this week because it's kind of a packed episode.
Literally didn't do anything anyways.
Yeah, we didn't do anything
And
but
we
watch
already
it,
know
man.
what we did.
Yeah.
We saw Endgame.
So that's basically it, guys. Enjoy this movie. You know, there's much more to come, much more movies to enjoy. So make sure you check out our podcast. As always, if you enjoy, check out the other episodes. If you want to say something to us, please do. We are on Facebook, our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/3drivals. Also, you can email us at 3drivals@gmail.com. And we'll try to respond to you there. It'll be pretty awesome. So we'll always thank you guys for listening because you guys are awesome. Everybody that we got listeners from Spain, which is crazy. You know, like wow, people in Spain like to listen to us, so it's pretty cool. So shout out to Spain, I guess. Here,
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Of course, other people around the world, if you're listening, thank you so much, and peace out.
Peace out.